Hello everyone, I'm Havoc and this is Factorio Space Exploration. Before we get into the video, I'd like to go ahead and let everyone know that in the description below this video, there will be a link to my Discord and to my Twitch channel. Come join us in Discord. We really would love to have you there. I'll be putting information about videos out early as well as notifications for when I'm going to be going live streaming, so you guys can check that out down below, and let's get right into the video. Going to work on this blueprint right down here that processes the resources coming from our core mining setup, and we want to put solar panels in our build here, and not just any solar panels. We're talking about solar panels that are the high tier ones. I'm trying to remember. Here we go. So these Mark V, that's the ones that we can make. Lots of red circuits, and green circuits, all to get it up. And that is after crafting the very first solar panel and accumulator, which takes green circuits, glass, copper. Ooh, batteries for the accumulators. Okay, so this is what we need to do. We need to create a build somewhere here on the map, maybe right down over in here, that's going to make us solar panels, and then we need to supply that build with resources. Now, I'm trying to think of how best to do that, and let's see. I don't have a lot of reds being built because I'm not utilizing this setup right over here. For our circuits, we're probably going to want to come up with something for that. And the whole reason we weren't doing the red circuits yet is because I would like to get productivity and speed module 4s before I make that big setup. However, the problem with that is that I only have a handful of reds. I actually have a lot of reds down here right now, but that's mainly because we haven't been doing any research. Things are backed up. We're not producing a whole lot. The facility, the factory, is moving only so fast right now. So let's figure out what we're going to do with that. Also, most of this can be cleaned up now. I need to do an awful lot of land filling, but that will be done off camera. That's very boring to watch, in my opinion. So I won't make you suffer through that. What I am going to do is plop down a few lights inside of our build here to give it a little bit of visibility. We don't need them everywhere, but just every so often at each of these little junctions in our power setup. Because at nighttime, I want to be able to see what's going on. Trying to place these. Oh, see, that's going to run into an issue. Trying to place them somewhat logically so they're not just thrown around everywhere. I think we'll call that good. That gives a decent amount of light around this without taking up too much space. Okay, now what we need. You know what we are going to need is a radar in this build somewhere, because we may actually need more than one. Nope, one is more than enough. I'm forgetting exactly how much a radar shows, and I think probably just plop one right in the middle there. Just thinking of things every so often that can improve our setup here. And then obviously we will put solar panels and accumulators in the build as well, because that's what's going to help us power things, because the Mark V max output 5.86 megawatts, and that'll be affected by the individual planet's solar percentage, and I forget where that shows exactly. Threat, robot interference, primary resource. Solar, here we go. Oh, it's a solar panel. That makes sense. You know, if you're paying attention to that. There are, oh, those are stars, I was about to say. There are a few places where it is very, very high. Those are all orbits, though. Forge Hammer. Novice, it's 100%. It's 103% solar on Galvania. 115% on Allen's. And then it goes kind of down from there. You only get a percentage on most of these planets and moons. You get a fraction of that. However, that's okay because Mark V's produce so much power. And that's going to prevent us from needing the giant nuclear facility. A nuclear power plant on every planet will start to really eat up my UPS. That's the whole reason we're working on this. So let's take a look at Factory Planner. New sub-factory. We're going to go Solar Mark V. The icon is that one right there. That's Solar Mark V. And no, that's Mark 1. This was Mark 5. One of these. Why is that red? What's going on here? Okay, we clicked it. Now it runs down. I still don't know how to use the Factory Planner mod. Just perfect. We're going to use one of those at 100%. That takes 3 solar panel Mark IVs. Oh, we're just going to go down the list here. Holy cow. So 3,645 greens per minute just to produce the solar panel tier 1s. And how many am I asking for these? 1 item a minute. Oh man, that is going to take a very, very long time in order to get to that point. Interesting. Okay, so what am I know I'm producing tons of greens. It actually doesn't take an awful lot of reds. 60 per minute and 30. That's only 90 per minute. That's not a lot. It's the greens. And I think what I'm going to do right now is just set up another train just for greens to begin with up there. Because I'm going to need pretty much most of those greens right now to make solar panels. And then later when we add on the red circuit build there, we can repurpose them where they need to go. But as of right now, I'm going to need a lot of these greens. Maybe all of these greens. What is it? What is this producing? Oh. 45,000 greens per minute. Okay. Well. Goodness. Okay. Goodness gracious. Okay. That is a lot. I like that. That gives me warm and fuzzy feelings. That's what I like to see. If you're gonna do so, I forgot just how excessive this build is. But if you're gonna do something, you do it big. You either go big or you don't do it. This is Factorio. Come on now. The factory must grow. I'm doing these by hand here because I just don't want to wait on the robots. They're gonna bring this. And this gives me another setup. Now, is this named already? It is not. So I can name this the same thing. But now I want to change the pickup to pickup 2 because I don't have a stacker at the other end of this. I have a stacker for here, but I don't have a stacker where that other green circuit train goes. And that's not where this one is going to go anyways. This one is going to go to our dedicated build. Oh, I still have my termite bots on. Why don't I have inserters right there? Somehow I missed the inserters for all of these setups. So, I don't really have to place all of these right now. I know I'll forget though. That'll give me a few trains to get set up. Okay, so now the bots have brought our belts. We are loading up. We have a lot of greens at our disposal right here. Hold up. Look at this. Look at this. Goodness gracious. Off by 1. It's terrible. Okay. Lots of greens at our disposal. You're talking about, what is this even? It's 45 a second, 90 a second, 180 greens per second flowing in here. So, and how many do we need? 4, 5.2, 6, a little bit over, we'll say 6,500 per minute. Okay, so what is that? Let's grab this and get a calculator. We said it was 6.5. Why is there so many zeros? Hold on here. Zeroed out. 6,500 over 60 seconds tells me I've done something wrong. 6,500 divided by 60 seconds. It's 108 a second. So we definitely have more than we need for our build down there to get one single Mark 5 per minute, which I need a lot more than 1 per minute. So the thing is, I can't really support a whole lot more than 1 per minute. Let's just say I threw some speed 3 modules in there. How does that affect everything? I think I have to place each of these in. Is that going to adjust? I have to hit refresh. Speed is 160%. That's way more than we're going to need. Items per minute. So I'm just trying to figure this out real fast while I'm looking at this. How long does it take to craft this? Half a second. Holy smokes. Half a second, each of these. So there's no real slowdown in the crafting time. It's how fast can I supply the resources necessary. And this is kind of the insane part down here. I need 32 assembly machines making regular solar panels. 32.4. That's going to go down because I'm going to throw in those. Okay, yeah, so it goes down drastically. We don't really need modules in any other any other one. You only need modules in the very first ones for speed, because all 12 and a half of these machines making 243 solar panels per minute are going to feed a single machine making solar panel Mark 1s, and that one's going to feed a single machine, and it just trickles down slower than there. And it's just an insane amount of resources. So that's the only reason I feel that the solar panel mod, what is this mod from? Factorio Power Redux Rebalance Release. The only reason that I feel it's acceptable that it gives you so much more power per panel is the fact that it's insane in the price. And that's okay. So we're going to need an area that unloads trains of resources and that loads up our... Actually, well, we're not going to need a bunch of stuff. You're going to get one solar panel out. So, one per minute. You don't need a setup for offloading resources from there. Let's figure out where realistically I don't want to do anything out here. It's going to have to be over here somewhere. Possibly up here. I also don't want to crowd my intersections, so I could take something like this and plop it up here. It's just going to cover up a little bit of resources unless I slide it down somewhere. Put it more out there. So I am going to go ahead and make sure that my logistics robots keep me full on the capsules, termite capsules, nanobots, destroys trees. I would like to maintain 100 of those. I wonder, does that count here or is it counting my inventory only? Questions. We'll find out here shortly. So I need to figure out how many different resources I'm going to have, and then make a train unloading station to handle that. You're talking about iron, copper, steel, glass, greens, and reds. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different resources. So 6 different trains. We're also going to need batteries for our what are they? Accumulators? Mark 5s. The product is that 1 per minute. It says coal. It's because it's burner assemblers. Oh goodness. Let's just go on down the line here. And we will not need coal to craft any of these things. We're making them with assembly machines. Okay, so we need batteries, iron plates, and I mean everything's the same except for batteries. You're throwing batteries on here. However, we are increasing the number of green circuits we need significantly. So let's throw on some of these blue circuits here and see what that does. Reduces the number of machines down to 12. And then this one, these are actually, it's not a half-second craft. It can't be a half-second craft that it requires so many of these machines. So I'm going to say it's got to be more than, it's probably a 30-second craft or something along those lines. which means I will need speed modules until you get probably to here. Is this the last one? Yeah, and then after that it's less than a single machine. So we'll need 2 machines, 5 machines, 13 machines. That's if I can even afford to feed this monster. Okay, these are cheaper for sure. The accumulators, it's going to take an absurd amount of batteries. That's the real cost there. But everything else going into the accumulators is much cheaper. So we'll just say we need a offloading area for 8 different trains, just in case I've forgotten something or if I'm overlooking something. And I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a 9. You know what, we could just copy this and roll with it. If we've got a couple extra spots for something to unload, I may need more greens than 1 train can handle, or I probably definitely need more than 1 train can handle. So our whole idea here is to come up to along here and grab something like this. It's my stacker, because I'm fairly certain in my blueprints here I have this where it goes like so. Yes. So let's use our jetpack, travel very quickly up to our area that we're going to build this. Where do we want to fit it in is the question. I could come back along here. That's actually what I feel like doing, coming somewhere along in here. Let's land, try and line this up somewhat. The only issue is that power pole, correct? Maybe this power pole? We'll see. And the logistics bots did fill up this, not my inventory, which is wonderful. So I can just keep a request to have them here. I do not need that. We can start cleaning up some of the relics. Also don't need 2 radars. We're going to recover a little bit of our UPS while we're doing this. Now, the blueprint that I grabbed right there can come down as low as that. But this creates an issue where I have this line. What is this line even powering? A forward radar. It's potentially powering a decent amount. Where are you guys going? Is there a roboport up here they were flying to charge it? Oh, maybe one of these, I'm not sure. But the bot network, hold on here. Yeah, it ends. That's weird that they're trying to fly straight across and then changing their minds. But okay. Y'all do what you're gonna do there. We need to reroute our power lines. That is gonna cut power for a moment because it's not set up just yet. And we're a bit far from our base, our logistics bots and construction bots. So I'm just going to hand place and rip a few things up rather than waiting forever for them. Now I can drop my blueprint in as soon as those things are out of the way. And No need to keep that one in my inventory. Or that one. Try and keep it clean as I go. Let's grab our train unloading blueprint. Now, we grabbed that point up. I think I'm going to get a lot of belt here that I don't really need. All of this, I'll just get rid of it after I've placed it up here. Ooh, it's moving a little choppy with this giant blueprint out. There we go. All right. Cleaning up the trees and waiting forever for the bots to get here and unload things. This one is going to be interesting. So there's not an awful lot of resources. Diversity, the first one takes iron and green circuits. How did we miss this one tree? Come on, clean it up. I don't want one tree sitting there. And I think because we're waiting on bots to cut those down is why it's not doing it with the termites. The termite nanobots. So wonderful. After playing the vanilla Factorio with viewers, it's such a sweet feeling to come back to all my wonderful mods. We're going to start with the solar panel. Since it's the most expensive behemoth right here, we're going to need glass, copper plate, steel, and a metric ton of green circuits. Oh boy. Green circuits everywhere. Let's just... No. I need the very first solar panel. This one. Tons of green circuits. They're going to have to be on a belt very close to each assembler. The rest of them can be split belts. So, how many did we need to make regular solar panels? 15 or 13. 13 machines. 12 and a half. Goodness. 12 and a half each with speed module 3s, which I think we can actually crush that down significantly. Just say what? 1 beacon times 8. Yeah, then you only need 8 of these machines. So that's what we're gonna do. Gonna make it take an absurd amount of power. 6, 7, and 8. Okay. We can also look at this and say, after this level, we no longer need glass and we no longer need copper. We're going to need iron plate, which is a new resource because these are taking steel, copper, glass, and greens. So the only resource after the regular solar panels that's going to nope, steel as well. I was about to say only one is green circuits, but steel and green circuits keep going. So we can do a split belt of copper plate and glass that's going to stop after this. Oh, I'm in the way, huh? And I think we still have to beacon each of those. This thing is going to be very expensive on power. Very, very expensive on power. Not worried about that looking too pretty right now. Just worried about getting it in place. Because per minute is more than we need. We needed 243. We're getting 252, which is good. That's perfect. So we know that's right. And we know that it's probably best to have our we've got 4 resources coming in here. Copper and glass could come in on this line. Green circuits needs its own line. And then we need steel and lots of it. So steel could come in here, but this we also need to be able to output. We know this is going to craft a single machine is going to give us half of 1 a second, so it's going to take a little bit less than 2 seconds to craft one, so that's fine. Alright, we're going to have to do some interesting little things here. We're going to have to underground. Well, you don't have to. This is how I will do this, though. I'm going to have my resources come in on this line. And this is going to probably be the steel and the green circuits. Actually, green circuits have to have its own line. That's what I was doing. So, green circuits will run right here. Is there a way to have this thing just output a signal constantly to show an icon? I know there is. How do I do that? Constant copy. Output signals. If I mouse over it on the right, I can see that's green circuits. This is going to be glass and copper plates. So you're talking about glass and copper plates right here. Glass and copper, greens. This one is going to be steel. Steel. Alright. And our output line, we'll start there. And this is outputting 4.2 per second, which is nothing compared to what the belt can hold 22.5 per second on one side. So no issues about that. And this will carry on through, and so will these belts. These belts will have resources that will be used by other machines further down. The copper and the glass are only used in the very beginning, so they can go right here. Now, I like that. I just think I've built it a little too close here, so let's do our cut tool and move that down a hair. just move it. Where are you going with my stuff, robots? Anyways, that's good. I'm going to bring green circuits down here. Also, hold on. Looking at this, I have a balancer here. Oh, that's why. I was going to say, why do I only have a balancer here and not where each of these unload? That's because they are balanced further down the line. However, that's not how I'm going to be doing things here. So I need to drop balancers in each of these train offloading areas. And that's what we're going to do. I wonder if there's a way to force it to clean up what's there and then place your blueprint that I just don't know. If you know of a way to do that and I'm just looking silly, feel free to let me know. I love input from my viewers. Tell me stuff that I don't know. Tell me how silly I look, that I can do it other ways. Alright, but I don't need all of these undergrounds on this side. Does that just go nowhere? Does it go nowhere down here? It does. That's because I haven't I'll have to move the radar and figure out where I'm gonna take the plastic. It's gonna have to come up here. When you move a blueprint only to find that things are different than you're expecting, or when you use a blueprint for somewhere else and you don't understand why things are that way. That's going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to hit that like button. I really do appreciate it. If you had any comments, go down there and leave it for me to read. I do appreciate that as well. As I said at the beginning of the video, there are links to the Discord and my Twitch channel. So come join us in Discord. Really do want you there. I'll be, again, putting information out early about videos and streaming times. And I will see you all next time.